All right, Bulls fans, welcome to another episode of Chicago Bulls Central, your number one spot for everything Chicago Bulls related. And today, on this episode, the second episode for today, Bleacher Report has come out with a list of the top overrated players in the last decade, and DeMar DeRozan was listed on there. We're going to talk about it right after this.
You are now tuned in to Chicago Bulls Central, your number one place for all Chicago Bulls news and content.
All right, Bulls fans, this has been, this is one of the biggest pieces of news that have come out for the Chicago Bulls for a minute. But Bleacher Report, Bleacher Report does shit for clicks, and this is perfectly right up their alley. Bleacher Report did a list of the most overrated players in the last 10 years in the NBA. Now, number one, they have Avery Bradley on there. Again, okay, all right, Avery Bradley. Jamal Crawford. I don't like the slander with Jamal Crawford. What he did over the course of his career has just been amazing. What he did as a sixth man, the number of awards that he won. I personally think Jamal Crawford is probably going to get into the Hall of Fame. But with that being said, number 3 out of 5, DeMar DeRozan. And I'm going to read the direct blurb here. It says, DeMar DeRozan is a great basketball player, even by NBA standards. You don't make 5 All-Star teams and average more than 20 points for a decade plus without having a ton of skill. DeMar's more well-rounded play since he joined the San Antonio Spurs in 2018 better reflects the reputation he's built over the years, but for much of the last 10 years, inefficiency, lack of defense, and an unwillingness to adapt to the ongoing three-point revolution adversely affected his impact. Since the start of the 2012 season, DeMar's teams have been plus negative 1.6 points per 100 possessions with him on the floor and plus negative 138 with him off the floor. His most recent campaign with the Chicago Bulls is the only one from that sample in which he had a positive swing. Due to part to the fact that he's so reliant on his mid-range and one of the tougher spots of the floor for efficiency, DeMar has posted below average effective field goal percentage in 9 of the past 10 years. Now, one of the things that Bleacher Report does use on this is his off-court, right? His on-off, meaning how much the team how much does this team get outscored when he's off the court versus when he's on? But the thing that they mistakenly decided to leave out is his on the court, his plus minus on the court. When DeMar DeRozan is on the court, his teams, other than 2012, which was -2, 2019-20 and 2020-21 with the Spurs, where it was -2.5 in both teams that weren't planning on winning. Other than that, in every one of these seasons, DeMar DeRozan has had a positive impact when he's on the court. As high as plus 7.5 in 2017 with the Toronto Raptors. And then last year with the Chicago Bulls, we were 1.2 points better with him on the court. And so with that being said, yes, he has a positive swing in both sides. DeMar DeRozan being labeled as one of the most overrated players. Keep in mind, people did not talk about DeMar DeRozan when he was on the San Antonio Spurs. Then on top of that, how is he one of the most overrated when basically most of his career, all that people have lobbied towards him is he can't get it done in the playoffs, a label in which thus far he's earned in some ways. I think it's a little bit too harsh in some ways that people label it, but in some ways he has earned it in certain matchups. The continued doubt around DeMar DeRozan. This is the same publication and website that had DeMar DeRozan listed as one of the worst offseason signings last season for the Chicago Bulls. A player in which, and while he's aging, is actually getting better and becoming a more intelligent basketball player. Yes, DeMar DeRozan's inability or lack there of frequency of going to the three-point line, no, it is not the trend and goes along with the trend in the modern NBA by any stretch of the imagination. No, we live in a three-point league now, and DeMar DeRozan is the king of the mid-range in a three-point era. And even DeMar DeRozan's defensive inefficiency at times, the Bulls were a better defensive team when DeMar DeRozan was on the court last season. Now, a lot of that could be said with the overall starting lineup, but still. The disconnect between some publications or the easy target that DeMar DeRozan has become. I don't even mind it. Keep bringing it our way. Keep bringing all the heat. Keep bringing all the hot takes. Keep bringing all the doubt. Keep bringing it, because guess what? When the Bulls were fully healthy, they proved everybody wrong last season. And guess what? DeMar DeRozan, he checks off everything. Every time some doubt gets thrown his way, he uses it as a badge of honor. So I'm not mad at it. And this is why Bulls fans should not be mad at it. Don't be mad at DeMar DeRozan being listed as one of the most overrated players at all, because guess what? It's just ammunition for a good player to continue to show the world how great he can be when the lights are on. Now, do we need DeMar DeRozan to get it done in the playoffs? Absolutely. We need this team overall to step up in the second half of the season? Absolutely. Do we need the team to win, to show up better on nationally televised games and against the upper echelon teams in the NBA? Absolutely. But they knew those. They know those things. They know that doubt. They know that the things that have been thrown their way since last season. They know how they only won one game in the playoffs and they got eliminated, and the doubt that's been thrown their way. Keep doubting this team. You think they would learn from last season, but it's okay. We're going to have to show them again. Now, we're going to have to show them and be more consistent with it as well. But I'm not even, the moment that I saw this article dropped, I smiled. Not only because I get to do this video and I get to shit on Bleacher Report again, but because I know that DeMar DeRozan sees it also. I know that this team sees a lot of the doubt around them also. And I know that collective chip on their shoulders that the Chicago Bulls team had coming into last season is just building up again as we head towards training camp. Especially if Lonzo Ball gets back ready. The fact that Alex Caruso, most of his season got taken away from him. The fact that Patrick Williams, Dalen Terry, Ayo Dosunmu, even Kobe White have been working this offseason. It's about to be a good season for the Chicago Bulls. And I even take articles like this as a better sign of it, because guess what? Last season, when all that doubt was thrown towards the Chicago Bulls, they came out and had and led the Eastern Conference about 80% of the season. Probably more like 65% of the season, if I'm being honest. But nonetheless, keep doubting this team. And I bet you, all my Chicago teams at that, we're going to prove you wrong. So DeMar DeRozan being on this list of one of the most overrated players in the last decade, that's fine. We'll take that. We hear you. We got you. We're going to show you something. Now, to round out the top five in this one as well, just to complete the list, DeAndre Jordan came in at number 4, and Julius Randle came in at number 5. Now, looking at the list, Julius Randle definitely I agree with. When you look at Julius Randle and the impact he had in that one season, a couple of seasons ago, and to come back and not really be that, he wasn't that beforehand, people at some point thought that Julius Randle was going to be the player that took the Knicks to the next level. And it doesn't seem to be that. Now, how does that change in the upcoming season with Jalen Brunson being on the team? With RJ Barrett's continued development, we'll see. But Julius Randle, I think, definitely deserves to be on this. And Andre Jordan, there was a time where Andre Jordan was not overrated. I think that as well. I think that there was a time absolutely where DeAndre Jordan was everything that all the hype made him up to be. And I never really saw DeAndre Jordan as being a player that was super hyped outside of his skill level anyway. But I can understand it. But let me know down below what you guys think about this list. Do you agree with me that DeMar and the Bulls are going to continue to use things like this as fire for the upcoming season? Let me know all that down below. Make sure you're following the show at Bulls Central Pod. You can send us any feedback, questions, comments, concerns, bullcentralpod@gmail.com. Lastly, if you want to leave a text and or voicemail, number to do so, 773-270-2799. We're the number one spot for everything Chicago Bulls related because of you guys. And like I like to end every episode on, go Bulls. Love you guys. Peace, y'all.
This has been a presentation of the Break Media.